There you see Dale Earnhardt, defending champion, a man who has won here at this racetrack. He has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his fourth win of 1987 out of 6. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
There may be a little more here underneath the sheet metal.
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we've got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
Our magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in Dahlonega.
Welcome, race fans, to the biggest and baddest track on the circuit. Welcome, race fans, to the biggest and baddest track on the circuit. It is the Talladega Super Speedway. Welcome to the RFC Throwback Series on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talladega Super Speedway, where we get ready to go to work for race number 6 of the 2020 RFC Throwback Series season. Of course, our series brought to you by the great folks at Ohio and Indiana Roofing. You can check them out on Facebook, get all the information you need, commercial, industrial roofing. They will take care of all your roofing needs. Also, the great folks at Blackhawk Motorsports. You can also find them on Facebook as well. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to what I like to say is the biggest and baddest track in all of any racing sport. Welcome back, race fans. We are at Talladega Super Speedway. It is the RFC Throwback Series. Tonight, it's the Winston 70, and we are ready to go with fast time qualifying. We got racers out on the racetrack right now. We'll jump to one of those, Brian Kaufman. Oh, and already getting wild and wicked on the high side there in his number 2 machine. And right now, looking for our first driver to put in a solid first lap as we start to see drivers go all the way around this humongous 2-mile racetrack here at Talladega. Looks like Kaufman's going to be the first one to get across the timeline. We'll see exactly what he is able to do. And it looks like, no, this is his warm-up lap. So Brian Kaufman, we'll ride around with him there just a moment in that number 2 machine as he works around the racetrack. Love the classic paint schemes that you see on these race cars. I mentioned it week in and week out as Kaufman roars down the back straightaway. We'll see if we can't get a really good look at him as he rolls into turn number 3. Love also the classic sponsors. You see a lot of cool old school logos on these race cars. Oh, and there goes Kaufman into the infield, and he is going to, oh yeah, we got to see that one up close. So we'll jump on with, looks like, one of our newcomers, Gary Ragland. There he is in that 58 machine. Gary Ragland, one of the newcomers, rocking the Terry Labonte paint scheme, coming off of turn number 4 there. Coming to, actually going down the back straightaway, working down the long back straightaway here at Talladega Super Speedway, that 58 Kellogg Chevrolet, as we'll watch him go for his second lap. Right now it's Eric Blunt, top of the board. He goes 47.49 on his first lap. Gary Ragland, second quickest, 47.91, so we'll see what Gary is able to do as he comes off of now turn number 4 and into the tri-oval. This is the unique tri-oval here at Talladega Super Speedway. Yeah, not right there in the middle of the tri-oval. We're all the way halfway down here in turn 1 before we get to that start-finish line, and Gary Ragland goes second quickest. He goes second quickest on his lap. We'll tune in now with a guy that already has a victory this year, and that is Dustin German. German out of North Carolina in the American Stroke Association, number 28, also rocking the nice look of the Davey Allison throwback. He works out on the racetrack right now, and coming up to speed. This will be his first lap as he comes off turn number 4. Quick time qualifying here at Talladega Super Speedway for tonight's Winston 70. Race number 6 for the RFC Throwback Series. And once again, we want to thank the folks at Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports, the official sponsors of this year's Throwback Series. Watching German now work through turns 1 and 2. And, of course, you're going to see these cars. This is one of the tracks similar to what we saw earlier this year at Daytona. These cars are going to move quite a bit as they work around this gigantic racetrack. Oh, German's loose off of turn 2. It looks like he is going to slide up, and is he going to keep it off the wall? So far, so good. Down the back straightaway in reverse. So just like that, looks like he's going to make a lap. It looks like he's going to go ahead and do the, well, not so traditional, backwards finish to his qualifying lap. So there we go. So some other drivers, Joshua Spalding, there he is in that 48 machine. Love the Jimmy Johnson look for Joshua Spalding out of Daytona Beach, Florida, in the Florida Hurricane Relief. Lowe's number 48. He goes on the clock right now. Quickest qualifier is Justin Waters. Justin Waters puts his 49 machine at the top of the board. Winston-Salem, North Carolina driver. Just outside of Eric Blunt. And by the way, Eric Blunt comes into this event third in the point standings. He's the only driver in the top 4 in points that does not have a win. And by the way, that point standings right now, Steve Baker has the lead. But I'm telling you, with 3 wins in 5 races so far, you would think his lead in the points would be a lot bigger. Well, that's not the case. No, Baker only has a 28-point advantage over Dustin German, as you see Littleton now. Looks like Littleton's went ahead and pulled out the backup car. I was wondering, we saw him in that 2 earlier when we first come on the air. We saw him there in that 2 machine running some practice laps, and that did not match what we had on our score sheet. Now that number 80 does. Brian Littleton, the driver out of Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, and the Diabetes Awareness number 80 machine. Michelob Ultra on that race car as he comes across the stripe. Looks like Brian Littleton on his warm-up lap as well. So officially, 5 drivers have put in solid times. Justin Walters atop of the board, Eric Blunt second, Gary Ragland third, Michael Willis fourth, Dustin Ping rounding out the top 5 so far. Still a lot of good drivers in the pits we haven't seen out on the racetrack right now. And we'll finish Brian Littleton's lap. We'll see if he can crack inside of that top 5. or at least put up a solid time to get him into that top 5 as he works around the racetrack right now in that 80 machine. Once again, we thank you so much for joining us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Always a pleasure to be taking you along, and as always, you got something as far as a comment, as far as something that you want to say. Of course, we got the chat pulled up. You can officially hop on there and let us know officially where you are watching from as Brian Littleton comes across the stripe. He turns in 3rd quickest time, put Brian Littleton into the 3rd spot. He goes 47.56. We'll take a look at another driver on the racetrack. There is the Dark Side Dave, my good buddy Dave Worrells in the Turn 3 Racing Network. Dark Side Dave, number 25, a little bit looser, rolling into turns 3 and 4, working the bottom of the racetrack. We haven't did this throughout all of qualifying, but what do you say we go inside of the race car with our Turn 3 Racing Network gyro cam. Take a look at what it's like to go inside of one of these 87 Classic cars. Oh, and Worrell's going to try to hold it. Is he going to make it? Yes, he's going to hold it off the wall. So there we go. David Worrells puts in a quick time and saves that race car. So some good stuff there from our good buddy Darkside Dave and a little pre-race donut as well. All right, Brian Kaufman now. Brian Kaufman out on the racetrack. Looks like he's going back out there in his number 2 machine. Working around the racetrack there on the back straightaways. We get a good look at these classic cars working around. So far, 7 drivers have took a qualified time. 7 drivers will watch Brian Kaufman come around and take his lap, and then we're going to go to commercial break. We're going to get you ready for pre-race festivities. We count down to green here from Daytona. It looks like he's going to go ahead and pull it in, so we will take a break. We have got racing from Talladega. It's the Winston 70 here on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. Welcome, race fans. The Turn 3 Racing Network has you at Talladega. It is the RFC Throwback Series today from Talladega. Race number 6 of the 2020 season. Hello, everybody. I am Cody Early, and that music means it's time to take you through our starting lineup tonight for our race number 6 of the 2020 season. And there you go. Starting on the point In the number 49 machine, that is Justin Walters out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. To his outside, driver number 3 in the points in the number 6 machine, that is Eric Blunt. He rolls off out of the state of New York. Inside of row number 2, it'll be Brian Littleton in his number 80 machine from the state of Pennsylvania. And to his outside, one of the newcomers, Gary Ragland in his 58 machine. Dark Side Dave, he is going to bring in that machine inside of row number 3 in his number 25 Turn 3 Racing Network car. And number 7 of Michael Willis will set to his outside in row number 3. Dustin Ping, he's going to start from the 7th spot, the Columbus, Indiana driver in his number 9. To his outside, the number 48 of Joshua Spalding. Current points leader in the RFC Throwback Series, Steve Baker in that number 55 machine out of Raleigh, North Carolina. The Autism Speaks 55. He'll roll off 9th. Out of the outside row, number 5, number 33, making his hometown in Newton, North Carolina, it is Brian Mescal Jr. Inside of row number 6, it'll be the number 14 of Matthew McMeekin, and to his outside, the Iron Man of the series, Damon Cox in his 57 machine out of Lynchburg, Virginia. Rolling off 13th in the number 28 machine, a winner this year already in 2020 at Darlington. It'll be Dustin German in his 28 machine. Stephen Page will roll off 14th in his number 1 machine out of Sanford, North Carolina. We'll take a look at the rest of that starting lineup. Chad Meadows in the 15th spot in his number 31. Doug Wasaki to his outside. Daryl Ricketts 17th. Mitchell Snare, last week's winner at Bristol, he's going to roll off 18th. Chris Legou 19th. Brian Kaufman 20th, and rounding out the field, it will be the number 4 of Michael Masengale out of Springfield, Ohio, in his Mission 22 number 4 machine. There you go. Field is set. Talladega, we are ready to go. Big track racing, as I like to call it. And we take a good look at our front row. That is Justin Walters there, closest to you in that number 49 machine. To his outside, Eric Blunt. There you see the 80 machine of Brian Littleton. And David Worrells there inside of row number 3 to the outside. Love the classic paint scheme there from Gary Ragland. Love the Terry Labonte classic look. We'll see if we can't get you a good look. There we go. Rolling into what is one of my favorite racetracks that we go to, Talladega Superspeedway. Doesn't get any bigger than what you're about to see as we get ready and the field starts to creep their way into turn 4. Reach up there, get those belts tight. We are so excited to have you tagging along here this evening at Talladega Superspeedway. It is race number 6 of the 2020 RFC Throwback Series. Thanks to our good friends at Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports, it is time to go green. Justin Walters, Eric Blunt on the front row as they creep into the tri-oval. It's time to go racing at Talladega. Long sweeping front straightaway, creeping towards. Green flag is out, and already we see them stacking up there at the front of the field. Take a look at that combo. Brian Littleton wastes no time getting to the back bumper of Justin Walters, and they are going to lead the charge into turns 1 and 2. We see them hook up there at the front of the field. You go all the way back. You see Dave Worrells there, Eric Blunt starting to sort things through, and behind him they stack up 2 by 2. Already starting to see this field kind of spread out all over this humongous racetrack. A lot of moving back there at the back of the pack. Right there in the middle. Love that Bill Elliott paint scheme there of Michael Willis. Check out that number 7 Coors machine. Working the high side, Brian Mescal Jr. right up there on his back bumper as we start to see him stack up 2 by 2. But in the meantime, this tandem out front, Justin Walters, Brian Littleton working together. There is Dave Worrells in that 3rd spot coming through the tri-oval to put lap number 1 on the board here at Talladega. Lap number 1 in the books. You're going to take a good look at the top 4. There you go on your screen. Brian Littleton in the 3rd spot, Dave Worrells, and he's starting to look like catch the draft of the top 2. And yeah, big run for Worrells, and there they go. Contact, bumping, and shoving. And I'm telling you what, in a draft, when these cars start to make contact, they are not easy to handle. They are a handful as we go inside of the Dark Side Dave machine. Take a look at that view. You'll talk about some steep banking here at Talladega. He's going to suck right up to the back of that McCulb Ultra. No, he's not. He's going to go to the outside. Dark Side Dave's going to make a move. Looks like he is hunting for the lead going down the front straightaway. Dark side Dave. Oh, Blunt gets up there. High side and handsome, and Dave is into that outside retaining wall. And man, oh man, just in a hurry, just like that, we start to see the front of the field all gather up. As Dark side Dave might have done some damage to the race car. And look, coming here to the outside. Didn't take us long to find Steve Baker. He is battling now, it looks like, with Justin Walters for the top spot down the back straightaway. Three-time winner of the series so far this year, and there he is sitting almost in the top spot. Walters is going to hold that bottom, but to the outside, Eric Blunt, he's going to have to work with the guy he's trying to catch in the points right now, and that is Steve Baker. We are coming to put lap number 4 in the books as they roar through the tri-oval. Through the tri-oval they go this time. You see there, all under a blanket. You have to go all the way back to, I want to say back to Gary Ragland before you see the end of this front group. But right now the battle is up front. And it's Steve Baker, third different leader to take command here at Talladega. So far we are caution-free. And Justin Walters says, you know what, I'll let you have it, but I'm going to take it back. Oh, and it looks like maybe the number 6 machine of Eric Blunt might be into that outside retaining wall. He is dropping back quickly, and he's right there in front of Damon Cox. Here comes Mitchell Snare, last week's winner at Bristol Motor Speedway, starting to make up some ground in the back of the racetrack. And there you see it. Check it out for the lead. We're talking 3 wide through the tri-oval, coming to lap number 5. 3 wide, to say the least, through the tri-oval. As you take a look there at the front group, working into turns 1 and 2. These cars move. When I say they move, they have a lot of rear-end movement. We've seen that if you've been watching our Turn 3 Racing Network broadcast. We have seen these cars all over the racetrack. Last week might have been the most calm I've seen these cars as Dustin German now works to the bottom, and Baker swaying back and forth. Oh, and German gets into contact. Contact with Littleton. Littleton's into the grass. He's going to slide up onto the asphalt, and man, oh man, we may have just saved from going to a caution somehow, some way. Brian Littleton might have just saved that race car. Would look like he was going to be completely up in front of the middle of the field. We'll go to the Turn 3 Racing Network replay. Yeah, there you go. Dustin German was under him. Littleton didn't know he was clear. And just like that, things shake out. And it looks like we will stay green, but that is going to definitely, man, this battle for the lead just continues to tighten up. Steve Baker now getting a little help from Joshua Spalding. Baker out front there in the 55, and here's Dustin Ping. Where did he come from? Also, he was talking about Mitchell Snare. He was running back there in the 15th spot moments ago. He's up in the top 10 now. He's coming into 6th place. He's picked up 13 spots so far in the opening 6 laps, and he's working on the high side with Dustin Ping and Matthew McMeekin. We see this, 7-car breakaway right now, and creeping into the picture there is that number 33 of Brian Mescal Jr. I know he would like to have a good run after a shaky race just last week at Bristol. Felt like he had one of the really solid cars in that race. Only one driver, well, other than maybe, I would say there was a couple drivers that could have ran with Steve Baker in that race, but Brian Mescal ran him down, passed him, and then kind of lost the grasp on that machine. And we start to see the front group start to go single file. They're going to work on the bottom of the racetrack and try to log some laps. 70 laps to make up this event here tonight from Talladega. As you see our leaders cruise through the tri-oval, and Dustin Ping says, okay, yeah, I'm not going to ride single file. I'm going to go at it. And that is exactly what they are doing, racing around this gigantic speedway here at Talladega. Dustin Ping working to the outside. He's in that number 9 machine. Ping out of Columbus, Indiana. Society for Deaf Children, number 9 car. Always love to see him on the racetrack. And by the way, here comes that 43 machine. He's going to suck up into the back bumper of that 48. Let's go inside of that Mitchell Starr, number 43 car. There you see tight racing. Yeah, look at that. Look how much movement. When the car moves, I feel like you just have to kind of go with it. And really, you got to hope that nobody else is there to kind of slow the car down as we see him roar through the tri-oval. Good to see David Worrell start to get things back on track. Kind of into that outside retaining wall early in the run, but we're looking for race leader number 4. Here comes Dustin Ping in that 9 machine. He's going to challenge to the outside of our leader, Steve Baker, and a little loose there for the 48 of Joshua Spalding. Now they stack them back up on the bottom. Mitchell Snare all over the back bumper of that Dustin Ping machine as they dive off into turns 3 and 4. This is definitely the big breakaway in the race right now. You have to go all the way back to Chad Meadows, and he is right there. He is way back. We're talking 8 seconds, nearly 8 seconds back to the leader, Steve Baker, and this is that second group. They're going to definitely have to get a little bit of organization about them if they want to catch this group, because right now this front group is putting on a show, and it is our points leader, Steve Baker, out front. 10 laps in, 60 laps to go from the biggest and baddest track on the circuit, Talladega Superspeedway. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back. More racing from Talladega right after this.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Talladega, where it is the RFC Throwback Series live from Talladega. We thank you for joining us, racing our way 70 laps tonight, 12 in the books. And you take a look out front right now. That is the 48 of Joshua Spalding. He has the point in front of Mitchell Snare and Steve Baker. Go back just actually a few laps ago when we first saw Joshua Spalding creep to the lead. And, you know, he made a power move. Yeah, he made a power move to get up front and was able to take the top spot. And right now, he's got one of the hottest rookies on the series, Mitchell Snare, on his back bumper. Of course, I mentioned a few moments ago, winner at Bristol last week. And that 43 car, all it takes is a little bit of momentum in racing to have any kind of success. And right now, we are seeing what momentum can do. And Mitchell Snare is riding that, as right now they are holding off the points leader, Steve Baker. Matthew McMeekin trying a unique line, and there you see that 25 machine of David Worrells. He's trying to catch this draft as a veteran move there from Steve Baker. Got Mitchell Snare off of the bottom and took the air away, and it's going to force Snare to possibly drop back behind the 55. No, he's going to work to the outside and see what he can do, diving off into turns 3 and 4. And there you see Dustin Ping. He's right there with him, working into turns 3 and 4. Is definitely a big breakaway for the first 8 cars. You see them pretty much there under a blanket. Really 7. You have to go back a good ways there to find Dave Worrells, who's trying to catch this draft. But right now it is Joshua Spalding showing the way here from Talladega Superspeedway. Tell you what, when they come back by, we'll take a look at what it's like to see these cars fly around the start-finish line here at Talladega Superspeedway. And Joshua Spalding has that 48 machine out front. And this group right here, pretty solid. I feel like if they could ever get things lined up, which they're showing no interest in that right now, by the way, they could pull away even further. You have to go a ways back to find the next group of race cars, as Dustin Ping now, he works to the bottom. He's going to go out front. The number 9 of Dustin Ping for the second time today. He's going to put that machine out towards the front. And the driver out of Columbus, Indiana, has that number 9 out front, but now he's got a challenge. Here comes Matthew McMeekin. McMeekin's going to go to the stripe and see what he can do. Let's take a look at what it looks like to see these cars fly by here at Talladega. Awesome camera. Look at this. Check this out. Ground view. Awesome camera work from our crew here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. And as I say that, here comes another battle for the lead. Joshua Spalding side by side working on Dustin Ping. Steve Baker in that number 55 out of Raleigh, North Carolina, the Autism Speaks 55 machine. Points leader coming in, 28-point advantage over second place Dustin German. German had a little bit of trouble early in the go. Right now he is riding quite a bit back in ninth. He's just out of this first group that you're seeing work on your screen now. Actually, we'll go back to Dustin German. He's back here. This is group number 2. I feel like they're going to have to get organized, and as I say that, they get pretty close to a straight line. That's Dustin German, Daryl Ricketts, Brian Kaufman, Chad Meadows, Stephen Page, also Brian Littleton, and there's Damon Cox in that number 57 machine. Damon, 5th in points coming into tonight, 37 points out of the top spot, so not a bad start to this season for him. And that is the second group that is trying to run down our leaders, and right there they are, and they are, well, patiently not being patient. Let's say that. They work around this 2-mile racetrack here at Talladega. Mitchell Snare working the high side. Last week's winner, he's on the outside of Steve Baker. Seeing a little bit of glitch in there. Not sure who we was seeing there twitching just a little bit. They'll see if they get that straightened out, which they do. And by the way, was talking about David Worrells trying to catch this draft. See that black car there at the tail end of that group? He has officially caught the lead draft, so we'll see if he can get up there and shake it up just a little bit. I believe it was Dustin Pings who they're telling me in my ear that was doing a little bit of glitching there. We are caution-free so far, 17 laps into this 70-lap event here from Talladega as they work down the Alabama gang back straightaway. And you see them roar into turns 3 and 4. Good look at there. 3 wide, Eric Blunt. Man, just the way these cars work through the turn, you think that they're entering the car looking like a dirt car. It's exactly what they look like. They look like a dirt car. Oh, here we go. Pit road action right away. Looks like all of our leaders are darting to pit road here on lap number 17. Ooh, Joshua Spalding had to back that race car down. It'll be interesting to see. They do have pit road penalties possibility. We'll see if that 48 was a little quick getting into pit road. But in the meantime, that's going to leave us with Matthew McMeekin out front. And there is Dark Side Dave on the back bumper of that 33 of Brian Mescal Jr. We'll see if this group comes into pit road this time as we now officially see our first round of green flag pit stops falling here on lap number 18. That group actually came in on lap 16, so we will see if this group decides to go to pit road right away. McMeekin's in, yep, and here they come. Don't think they could lay around and let this other group get hooked up and get too far ahead of them. As we see Matthew McMeekin, Brian Mescal Jr., and David Worrells hit pit road, and it'll filter back around. As you see there, yes, our pole sitter, Justin Walters, he's coming to pit road as well, and that is going to round things out, and we'll see who that will put back out front. I do believe very well should be Steve Baker in the group. There is, for the moment, Gary Ragland in that Kellogg's machine, and he's going to come to pit road. So we'll see how it shapers around. We'll see if Dustin German is going to pick up the lead, as he looks like he is going to be the first car possibly to come across the stripe as we've got this group on pit road. If he does, he is going to be a lone wolf out on this racetrack. I don't know how well being out there that far ahead by yourself will do as he crosses the stripe. And with that little bit of extra speed, yes, it looks like it will be Dustin German. He is going to go to the point and take the lead here at Talladega. We'll get things sorted out. We'll get the lineup dialed back in as green flag pit stops officially in the books. First time around, we'll get things dialed back in and get back to racing here from Talladega Super Speedway. It is the RFC Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Talladega. It's the RFC Throwback Series, and there you see what it is like to be by yourself. It doesn't take you long to get over-consumed, and that's exactly what's about to happen to our leader, Dustin German, as the leaders have ran him down. You see Steve Baker there in the 55. Also, Joshua Spalding and Chad Meadows now. He is driven up to the top 4. That is him in that 31 machine. Take a good look at Chad Meadows. He's picked up 11 spots since the initial get-go. He's out of Daytona Beach, Florida in the American Diabetes Association number 31. He has hooked on to the back of this front group, and there you see a little bit of a distance back to Matthew McMeekin. There's group number 2. It's Brian Maskell Jr. and Mitchell Snare. Now, they were originally in this front group, so maybe a better pit stop possibly for Steve Baker and Joshua Spalding. But that is the gap. There you go, from first all the way back to the 5th, 6th, and 7th drivers. And out front, we'll stay with this group as the battle for the lead now between these 4 drivers. Pretty calm at the moment. 2 of your winners this year out front. Dustin German in the 28, Steve Baker in the 55. Sucks up, gives just a little bit of a bump to the back end of that 28 machine. Let's go inside and ride around with our leader. That is Dustin German inside with our Turn 3 Racing Network gyro cam. There you see him working to the bottom of the racetrack. Yeah, you see their hands. They are constantly working the wheel around this racetrack here at Talladega, cruising around the bottom of the racetrack. Looks pretty simple and easy, doesn't it? Till you actually see one of these cars get loose, and then you're kind of like, man, how did he save that? I know I've said that multiple times. I've used the word wow. And it's a good description of what we see when these cars do start to get loose, as we see Steve Baker once again there sucking up to the back bumper. Baker all over the back bumper, the rear deck lid, as you call it, of that 28 machine. And he's got to, because he's got Joshua Spalding putting the pressure on him as they come off of turn number 4 and down this long front straightaway and into the tri-oval. Unique tri-oval. And I say that because you take a look. There's a good distance. You see right there, start finish line. So a lot of room, as that's a pretty good look at what the fans are getting to see all around the Talladega Superspeedway. Absolutely love some of the fan finishes, the photos that we get to see. And speaking of which, if we get a really good run at the finish, a pretty cool camera that was installed thanks to our friends at the Turn 3 Racing Network, and I'll give you a good look at that as these drivers roll around this Talladega Superspeedway here in moments. If we get the opportunity to see a photo finish, we have got the perfect camera angle set up tonight for you to be able to see that as they work through the tri-oval. This is one of our new cameras we've added here at Talladega because of how close the racing is. Check this out. Coming across the line. There you go. Just how fast they work around this Talladega Superspeedway. And now we've got 2x2 up front. Dustin German out front. Steve Baker going to give him a little bit of room as they calm things back down. Let's jump back to Mitchell Snare in that 5th spot. He's racing side by side now. Looks like he is in a battle with Matthew McMeekin. Oh, they bank fenders just a little bit there coming off of turn 2. It's going to force McMeekin to the bottom. McMeekin goes to the bottom, and here comes driver in that number 71. Oh, it looks like maybe a couple of laps down there for Chris Legou in that 71 machine, but he is racing there right in the thick of our 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place drivers. There, as you see, Eric Blunt. Mentioned him a little bit earlier, coming in 3rd in the RFC Throwback Series point standings coming into this weekend. Had a really good week last week at Bristol. Not the finish he was looking for, but a real solid run. As you are looking on your screen now at Matthew McMeekin, Mitchell Snare, they are battling now. This is your 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th spot drivers. We're up front, a lead change. Up front, looks like we have got some swapping going on at the top spot. Dustin German now allowed it to go back to Steve Baker. And now Dustin German made a pass back to the lead. We'll take a look at it on your Turn 3 Racing Network replay. Just simply went to the bottom. Doesn't take much here at Talladega if you use the momentum. And right now, Dustin German looks like he has got a pretty solid piece as he is holding off our points leader. Of course, you know, these two are the top 2 in points too, so not a surprise to see them holding down the fort, so to speak, here out front at Talladega Superspeedway. 27 laps of our 70 in the books here. Race number 6 of the RFC Throwback Series. And, of course, you know, we've got to thank our good friends and our good sponsors of this series, and we've got such a big track here. I get to do that. The great folks at Ohio and Indiana Roofing. Ohio and Indiana Roofing was founded in 1987 in St. Henry, Ohio, and the company moved in August of 1996 to its current location, which is Cranberry Road in Ohio. And Indiana Roofing was started as division of the Bruns Building and Development back in 1997. The OIR is now one of many divisions of the Bruns Construction Enterprises, and they currently operate in St. Henry and Springfield, Ohio. So yes, any kind of roofing you need in Indiana or Ohio, give them a call. They'll take care of you. Commercial, industrial, roofing, whatever you need, they will take care of you. And right now, we are taking care of you with some exciting racing at Talladega. You're looking at the top four. Let's go high above. See if we can get the blimp cam dialed in. Yeah, there you go. That is the battle for the lead right now. Dustin German out front. Steve Baker second. Joshua Spalding third. Chad Meadows rounding out the top four as they come to lap number 29 here at Talladega Superspeedway. Let's take a look through the field. We take a look there at Dustin German, Steve Baker, Joshua Spalding, and Chad Meadows. Jump back to our fifth place spot. That is Eric Blunt in the number 6 machine. Mitchell Snare in the 43. Riding in the 7th spot, Matthew McMeekin. That number 71 of Chris Legou, it looks like he is riding back there in the 19th spot, laps down. You got Brian Maskell Jr., Daryl Ricketts, go back to him, and then rounding out the top 10. Must have had a bad pit stop for Dustin Ping. He's back there in that 10th spot, and right behind him, Dave Worrell. So that is a look at your top 10. Right now, it is the battle out front as Steve Baker giving a little bit of ground there to Joshua Spalding, and Spalding looks like he is going to put some pressure on Dustin German as they work out of turn 4. Out of turn 4 and down the big, long straightaway, Dustin German continues to lead laps here at Talladega. What has been, it's been exciting. A lot of good racing going on, but we haven't seen any real big incidents. I would go back and say the save of the race so far, if we could classify a save of the race, I would have to go back to the incident there on lap number 3. Brian Littleton, Dustin German. Yeah, this almost could have been bad for Dustin German. By the way, he's our current leader, but here's that incident I'm talking about. Check this out. This is at the very front of the race. Yeah, you see him and Littleton go down through the infield. We'll see if we can't get you another look at that. Yeah, lap number 3. Oh, man, all kinds of craziness. What a job by both of these drivers. You know, you think about how much of a handful these cars are, and to be able to pull off those moves, that is absolutely insane. And the guy right there that is out front, that is Dustin German. That was him sliding through the grass with Brian Littleton, who is back in the 12th spot right now. But it is Dustin German showing the way. Joshua Spalding second, Steve Baker in third, and Chad Meadows continues to ride around in that 4th spot. Mitchell Snare rounding out the top 5. You are watching the RFC Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. More racing from Talladega coming up.
Start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole from Dawsonville, Georgia, in the number 9 Coors Ford qualifying and Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison.
His second win of 1987.
Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. You see the caution lights on the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car. Yes, we are under caution. You might ask what happened. Well, we did have our first caution of the event. We go to that yellow flag now. We'll take a look at the incident. Happened just a few moments ago. Doug Wasaki there in that 34 machine. Man, all over the bumper. Ooh, hard into the outside retaining wall. Not really sure what was leading up to that. We'll take another look, see if we can't get another angle of what exactly happened here on the front straightaway. There you see that 58 machine of Gary Ragland, and they are just beating and banging down the front straightaway, and it looks like, unfortunately, Doug Wasaki is going to take the brunt of that one, the Belleville, Michigan driver with the Samantha's Ride for Liver Awareness 34 machine, as he ends up taking the brunt of that one, as we are under caution here from Talladega. First caution of the evening. We'll take another break to say thank you to our great sponsors, and we'll be back with more racing coverage from the biggest and baddest racetrack on the schedule, Talladega Superspeedway, right after this. The RFC Throwback Series, officially brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports, on your home for everything e-speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Talladega under caution. We start to see the field double back up as we approach going back to green here from Talladega Superspeedway. Well, we're always inviting you to check out everything we got going on. You can check out the Turn 3 Racing Network Facebook page. Also, you want to know where we're going to be next week? Well, there you go. It's a look at our schedule. Next week, we head to Charlotte. It's the Coca-Cola 100 next Tuesday night. We'll be at Charlotte Motor Speedway. There you see some other tracks that might be of a little bit of interest to you. Dover, we'll go with the Budweiser 100 in a couple of weeks, and then we'll jump into the month of November. Pocono, Daytona, and then we return right here to Talladega Championship Night, where we round out the 2020, the inaugural 2020 RFC Throwback Series season as we creep back towards that restart line. We thank you so much for joining us wherever you might be watching from. 36 laps in, 70 to make up the event here from Talladega. It has been exciting. The front group, Joshua Spalding, Steve Baker, Dustin German, Matthew McMeekin have been, well, putting on a show, to say the least, but we're going to get things stacked back up. As you see, the lights are out on that Ford Mustang pace car. We're going to stack things back up and get ready to go back racing. A pretty good, long green flag run. We made it through a round of green flag pit stops, which at plate racing or super speedway racing, whichever terminology you want to use with that, is exciting. It's definitely one of the most interesting styles of racing that we see anywhere we go. And next week, we'll see it on a whole nother different level. We go to Charlotte next week, where we'll see these drivers go at it as we see the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car make that left-hand turn towards the bottom of the racetrack. It will eventually find itself off the racing surface, and we will get ready to go back to green. Points leader, Steve Baker out front. He is out of the great state of North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. To his inside, the 48 machine. That is Joshua Spalding out of Daytona Beach, Florida. They stack them up side by side through the tri-oval, waiting patiently as we work towards the restart zone there. Take a look at the sold-out stands here from Talladega. Loud pedal, and we are back green here from Talladega Super Speedway. 3 wide already. Matthew McMeekin to the high side. Steve Baker in the middle, and he's going to break down, and man, what a break there. Brian Mescal Jr. may have gave our points leader a little bit of a break, allowing him to squeeze down into the bottom as we take a look. It is Joshua Spalding out front now, and I want to say the caution flag is still out. Yeah, they are saying that officials are saying the caution flag has flew, so we'll see if we can't find out what exactly might have happened. Not seeing anything there on our replay. We'll go back and check that again, and we'll see if we can't figure out what might have happened there. And still not showing. Oh, there we go. Wow, something went on back there at the tail end of the field. Let's take a look. Going into turn 1 there. And Page turned down right in front of Ping, and Doug Wasaki there. Gary Ragland. Yeah, we'll take a look and see exactly if we can't see what might have happened there. It looked like Page was coming down right in front of Dustin Ping. See if we can't go inside and take a look. Yeah, there you go. And nowhere to go for Doug Wasaki. Wasaki just an innocent bystander. We'll go inside of that Dustin Ping machine. Here you go. And good look right here once again. This is Doug Wasaki's in-car camera. Yeah, right off the nose. And Gary Ragland and Doug Wasaki get together. Tough break there for Dustin Ping. Had a really good race car, and what I thought was a really good race car to kick off this race. But for right now, he finds himself towards the tail end of the field. And there you see our leader, Joshua Spalding, 38 laps into this 70-lap event. Hope we don't lead into that caution breed cautions theory. We'll see if we can get things back rolling. A good solid start for sure. While we do have a moment, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, the Blackhawk Motorsports Group, an iRacing group that was fired up in 2019. It consists of team members Katie Osmond, which, by the way, me and Dave have the honor on Sunday nights of doing the Light Electric Company Archive Arts K&N Series. Man, Katie Osmond, just a solid year. Could be on his way to another points championship. Also in that team, the driver I just talked about, Dustin Ping. So unfortunate for him and his Blackhawk Motorsports number 9 machine beating up that race car. Chris Berg, Brian Snare, which is the dad to Mitchell Snare in that 43 machine. And, of course, the great folks at Blackhawk Motorsports. So a shout out to all of the great folks in that organization that help us out and, of course, bring you racing here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Well, we get things filed back up. We've got them sorting out, figuring out their lineups, and while they do that, we'll take one more break and come back for more green flag racing from Talladega Super Speedway. It's the RFC Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
with the best. You got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
It's the RFC Throwback Series, live on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Brought to you in part by Ohio and Indiana Roofing, commercial and industrial roofing, and Blackhawk Motorsports, the official sponsors of the 2020 RFC Throwback Series. Welcome back, race fans, to Talladega Super Speedway. Cody Early with you in the booth here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We got a brief moment. We'll give some shout-outs. I was looking to our live feed on YouTube. Linda's watching. Hello, Linda, to you. Daniel, hello. Good to see Linda and Daniel watching on the YouTube channel. And while you're over there, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on a Tuesday evening from Talladega Super Speedway. You're taking a live look there as the field as they get worked back around and we get ready to go back racing here from Talladega Super Speedway. A good, solid start to this one so far. You see them start to stack back up. We got, unfortunately, back under yellow rather quickly there. But right now, we'll take a look at your lineup, and it looks like this on the left side of your screen. It's Joshua Spalding out front, Dustin German second, Steve Baker third, Eric Blunt fourth, Brian Maskell Jr. fifth. Quietly, the Iron Man, Damon Cox has climbed up into that sixth spot. Last week's winner, Mitchell Snare in seventh, Dave Worrells in eighth, Brian Kaufman ninth, and Daryl Ricketts rounds out your top 10. You got a favorite? Well, if you do, make sure you always give them a shout out while you got them dialed in on the YouTube channel as we see that front row start to creep towards turns 4. And we get ready to see the field work back towards the front straightaway. Got some awesome views. We were showing you some of the speed views from earlier. Right now, yeah, check that out. Just in case we get the opportunity to see a photo finish, we'll get to see that great angle. As the field works towards the tri-oval, there you look at that sold-out crowd here at Talladega Super Speedway. On this Tuesday evening, it's Joshua Spalding. It's just Dustin German working towards the tri-oval. We get ready to go back green. 40 in of our 70. We get ready to cap off the last 30 of this one. Green flag flies. We are back to racing at Talladega. Nice, solid restart there as the front group starts to break away. And, yeah, look at that, 2x2, 2 rows deep, and then a little bit of strategy there. Damon Cox drops to the bottom. So does Brian Maskell Jr. and Dave Worrells. Cox is going to have a little bit of a run. He's going to pull up to the back bumper of Eric Blunt. Anything to do with that? No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like they're going to fade away, and the front 4 have things stacked up. It's kind of a roadblock at the front of the field. And a little bit of momentum there on the top side. That's Mitchell Snare and Daryl Ricketts working together, and Ricketts, as soon as I say that, leaves the back bumper of that 43 machine. He's going to go to the bottom, but right now it's Dustin German out front trying to hold off Josh Spalding, and he's got a hard charge in 55 of Steve Baker to his outside as they roar down the front straightaway. Down the front straightaway and through the tri-oval. Mitchell Snare on the back bumper of the 55. Man, oh man, what a push. 55 gives a solid shove to Dustin German, but not enough. Josh Spalding, 48 Lowe's machine to the point. Here comes Eric Blunt, and we was talking about Daryl Ricketts there just a few moments ago. He's got that 44 car dialed in, and Spalding goes all the way to the high side. All the way to the high side to throw the block, and what's that going to do? It's going to bring Daryl Ricketts through the middle. 3 wide going into turn 3. One car off the pace there. It looked like Michael Willis in that number 7 machine off the pace there into 3. Battle up front. It is Josh Spalding showing the way. He's there in that 48 Lowe's car. Then you go to Dustin German, and now they're just starting to sort it out. Nobody is comfortable riding where they are. I feel like everybody is jockeying for position. We talked about him a few moments ago. Let's go inside. Let's go to the gyro cam inside of that number 57 of Damon Cox. There you see that battle for the lead, moving around, all kinds of movement, riding along with the 57 of Damon Cox, coming in 5th in points here in the RFC Throwback Series. He's on the bottom. Yeah, see that? All kinds of momentum. It's just like you have to go where the car wants you to go. There's no forcing these heavy cars. The 87 cars, maybe some of the heaviest cars on the circuit, and we see some of the action starting to group up. You're looking right now, we've got the top 11 under a blanket here on the tri-oval, and not very far back as we see trouble, maybe some smoke there coming out of the 25 of David Worrells. Oh, and Damon Cox is on the apron. He gathers it back up. Ryan Mescal Jr. gives him a little bit of room. Oh, and Dave Worrells has to go way out of the throttle, and man, that is going to kill the momentum they had building up, as we'll see those three drivers start to lay back as here comes Dustin Ping. So, yeah, just like that. Oh, and hard up into the outside retaining wall, trying to see who that was. Brian Kaufman dropping like a fly. Not really sure what happened there to put Kaufman into the outside retaining wall. If we can't go back and take a look, this is Kaufman running the high side. Maybe he just gets a little high going into the turn. Yeah, it just simply goes up and gets into that outside retaining wall. So tough break there for Brian Kaufman, as right now we go back out to the front of the field. There you see it, your top four. Josh Spalding, Dustin German, Daryl Ricketts, and Steve Baker. And they are in front of a hornet's nest of drivers. Yeah, you see, look back there, Mitchell Snares working to the outside with the guy that we saw earlier in the race in the very first incident, Stephen Page. He's driven all the way up to that 7th spot, and Page is one of those drivers that just as quietly kept that race car together. And I will say this. Oh, and trouble there in the back. We see Matthew McMeekin. He's going around, and David Worrells is going with him into that inside retaining wall. Hard contact with 26 laps to go. We will see if the caution flag will fly. It will not, so we will stay green, unfortunately. David Worrells, hard contact. We'll see if we can't see what happened. He's on the high side there of McMeekin. Yeah, it just comes down. Spotter may not have seen McMeekin there underneath that Turn 3 Racing Network Dark Side Dave machine, and hard contact into the inside retaining wall. So tough break for the 25, but the caution will not fly. We've got 25 laps to go. 25 laps to go, and slicing and dicing. You're wondering maybe when are these drivers expected to pit road? Well, here's your pit strategy. They were last in on, well, 11 laps ago. 17 and 17 as we start to see some lap traffic working there in front of our leaders. Looks like they're going to sort through Doug Wasaki and Michael Willis pretty solidly. But there you see 12 laps now. You have to go all the way back to Stephen Page. He's only got 8 laps on his tires, so I think we're okay right now. If we see any pit strategy, looks like it's going to happen here in about 7 laps. So check it out, snaking down the back straightaway. Josh Spalding leading the charge as they go around the 58 of Gary Ragland in that Kellogg's machine. And right now, Dustin German working on the back bumper. Kind of a cool thing here. You're looking at a classic Davey Allison paint scheme and working on a Jimmy Johnson style paint scheme. And there's the caution flag. Caution flag has came out. Caution flag has flown here with 23 laps to go. They're telling me that Gary Ragland might have been involved in this one. We'll go back and take a look. Not seeing anything there as they come to the tri-oval. We'll see if we can't get another camera angle. Still not seeing anything. We'll see if we can't dial up possibly what happened. Damon Cox there. Yeah, and oh man, and Damon Cox, an innocent bystander. Gary Ragland looked like he was up into that outside retaining wall. Not really sure what might have happened, but he just couldn't get that car off of the wall, down around the front straight. Oh, man, and just like that, Damon Cox, nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go in that 57 machine. We'll see if we can't get an inside in-car camera. Look at that. Yeah, that is Gary Ragland up on that outside retaining wall, and then he goes around, and here comes Damon Cox. Check this out. Nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go, and unfortunately that 57 machine, the Autism Awareness 57 of Damon Cox out of Lynchburg, Virginia, into the infield with some significant damage. But the caution flag has came out. There you're riding around with our leader at the moment as we approach 23, coming to 22 to go. And pit road is open, and we will take this moment to take a quick break. You are watching the RFC Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We are live from Talladega on this Tuesday night.
The car behind me is my Chili Bowl midget, the one that I won the Chili Bowl with. And what's interesting about that is it's actually the car that iRacing scanned that's going to be available to all the iRacing members out there.
Where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole from Dawsonville, Georgia, in the number 9 Coors Ford qualifying and Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison.
His second win of 1987.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Talladega Super Speedway. It is race number 6 of the RFC Throwback Series here from Talladega, our second Super Speedway race of 2020. Of course, Talladega, this being the second race. Daytona kicked off everything earlier this year, and of course we will go back to Daytona here in just a few weeks. There you see the field stacking back up. We are getting ready to go back to green flag racing after that most recent caution. We're going to go back green with about 20 laps to go, and this could this could very well get things all shaken up, especially the leaders. I feel like the top 7 have been giving us a show all night long, and now we're getting closer to the finish of this event here from Talladega Super Speedway, which means we may be in store for even more excitement if that's possible. We've seen a lot of good drafting. We've seen some solid racing. We've seen some guys go to the back, to the front. And speaking of which, one of those drivers that has pretty much went from the back to the front is that driver right there in that number 1 machine. As we'll see if we can't get a good look. Not going to be able to get the camera dialed in, but we'll go back to green. That is the number 1 of Stephen Page. Good to see him roaring back towards the front. iRacing pace car on to the apron as we get ready. We will have 20 circuits left, 20 laps still to go here at Talladega in the Winston 70. That is plenty of time, and you're looking at 20 drivers that still have a possibility to pick up a win. They creep into the trial, of course, long distance here to the start-finish line. As there they come towards that start-finish line, we'll get ready to see them go green. And the green flag is back in the air, and they roar across the stripe. We're back green at Talladega. Big, solid breakaway for Joshua Spalding. Man, oh man, what a restart for those two on your screen. Josh Spalding and Steve Baker have just simply kicked in gear rather quickly as they have jumped out to a huge lead, but that might not be a good thing at Talladega as you see this next group starting to line up. How about Darrell Ricketts and Chad Meadows? Haven't talked a lot about them, but they are running down first and second. We'll see if they can take any of that momentum into turns 3 and 4. Darrell Ricketts in that 44 machine out of Kermie, Illinois. Castrol, number 44. He's got the 31 there all over the back bumper. That is Chad Meadows out of Daytona Beach, Florida. They are the top 4, but right now the whole front group, we're talking about the top 8, are racing nose to tail around the front straightaway heading into turns 1 and 2. Baker on the back bumper, that 48. Ricketts there in that 44 machine. Chad Meadows in the 31. And Dustin German, who has led a ton of laps here this afternoon. He's back there in the 5th spot trying to work his way back to the lead. But the man out front right now is Joshua Spalding with one of the best drivers in the series on his back bumper coming to turns 3 and 4. 18 circuits left this time by, and we see most of the field now working the bottom of the racetrack. Eric Blunt, the only driver that is working the high side there in that number 6 machine. He's going to have to find a way down if he wants to possibly make any action, I guess you could say, going forward. He's going to have to find his way to the bottom of the racetrack because right now it is a snake around the bottom of this big racetrack here at Talladega. 2 miles right now. Looking at those track times, best lap of the race for Joshua Spalding was a 55.63, and right now his last lap was a 45.63. His last lap was a 45.72, so they are not off by much speed-wise from where they have been. 45 seconds a lap here around this Talladega Super Speedway, and I'm hearing in my ear that Michael Willis might have had some trouble there. No caution flag yet. No caution flag yet. We'll see if we can't see what happened. Not sure what might have happened there to Michael Willis. He's into the infield, and looks like that is where he is going to come to a stop. So not sure what happened there. No caution flag. We stay green. 17 to go. This is the battle for the lead. Josh Spalding, Steve Baker working down the back straightaway. All kinds of competitors coming in, coming close. We'll see if any of these drivers can make a run towards the top 2. Right now, they have been pretty comfortable working the bottom of the racetrack. We haven't really seen any group of cars go to the high side and make a run at that high side just yet. There you see Steve Baker kind of duck out. Not really seen any drivers going out on a limb on that high side yet. Everybody's kind of worked to the bottom, but now it looks like with 16 laps to go, it's going to be Spalding pulling those drivers to the high side. Now back to the bottom once again. You have to be wondering what might be going through the head of our points leader, Steve Baker, there in that 2nd spot. We'll see if we can't ride along with him, as there you see him sucked into the back bumper of that 48 machine of Josh Spalding as they work down into turns 3 all the way down to the bottom. Check out the banking. I mean, we're talking about G-forces when you work around the bottom. As see if we can't see exactly. Yeah, 207 mile an hour. That was through the middle of the turn coming to the tri-oval. Looks like he's going to be at about 209. As I say that, we're going to back away from this view because it looks like we've got some folks going to pit road. Brian Maskell Jr., Brian Littleton, Matthew McMeekins out there, Justin Walters, Man, oh man, we've got a ton of drivers on pit road with 15 laps to go. Could this be some strategy working out between this group? We'll see if they can get back out there, but right now, there you transition back to the lead. 15, making it 14 this time by for Joshua Spalding and Steve Baker. I would not be surprised to see this group start woeing down and possibly come to pit road here out of turn 4. Do they show any signs of slowing down? No, they will not. They will stay on the loud pedal, which means they are going to run down this group that just come off pit road rather quickly. We'll take a look. This is one of the unique fan views that we got. This is from up in the fans zone. Check that out. Coming off of turn number 2 and down this long back straightaway. There you go. That's what it looks like to be in this sold-out crowd here at Talladega Superspeedway. That is the leaders right now. And you look up ahead, you start to see some of those drivers that were on pit road moments ago. We'll see how long it takes this group to filter out before they decide to come to pit road. Still nothing yet. Looks like they'll stay on, and this time they'll come to 13 to go. Now, Eric Blunt, he's going to be a lone man in this group. Eric Blunt's going to come in, and unfortunately, it looks like Justin Walters is going to be victim of going one lap down as the leaders work around him. Unfortunately, it looks like maybe Walters might have lost that group that pitted there just moments ago. I was trying to go ahead and see where Brian Kaufman might be. He's in 9th. Brian Littleton there working with Dave Worrells. That is 11th and 12th, and they are well ahead of Damon Cox, which is running 14th. You see him there on your screen, and then Brian Maskell Jr., he is working off of turn number 4. So, yeah, good ways away as this first group starts to possibly stretch things out. We take a look at our pit strategy. 9 laps on a set of tires this run. They've been averaging anywhere from 17 to 14, so I feel like they may have to make one stop to be able to finish this thing off, as now they are pulling up. As you see, they are pulling into the back bumper there of Dave Worrells and Brian Littleton. Looks like they'll do that pretty quick, but we are closing down the laps here from Talladega. 12 circuits to go. 12 circuits to go. It's the Winston 70 RFC Throwback Series from Talladega Superspeedway. I was going to show you that just a few moments ago. Just this racetrack in general. Take a look at that. Picture perfect today. 83 degrees. Track temperature 99. So, yeah, plenty of heat on the racetrack right now as we see our leaders sorting through what is going to be lap traffic. But, man, in the process of all that, they have welcomed some new challengers. Here comes Dustin German, Stephen Page, Mitchell Snare. They are all right there as the top 7 work against each other, trying to put Brian Littleton and David Worrells one lap down. 2 handfuls of laps, 10 laps next time by. As we wind things down here from Talladega, you got to wonder, Steve Baker has been just calmly, patiently riding on the back bumper of that 48 of Joshua Spalding. He's hunting for his first win. Oh, and loose up at the high side. What a save by Chad Meadows. I don't know if the camera got that right up in the corner, but Chad Meadows may have had one of the biggest saves of the race. He got that car way up high side and loose. That's going to cost him some major track position, but looks like he will be able to stay in this lead group. Yeah, our camera a little bit late getting to that, but man, oh man, what a move there just moments ago for Chad Meadows to hang on to that number 31 machine. Right now, there you go, battle for the lead once again. Steve Baker working on the back bumper of Joshua Spalding, patiently riding there. Daryl Ricketts. And a guy that I think if anybody's going to stir the pot in this group, I think it's that guy that's in that number 28 car. Now, right now, unfortunately, he's got 2 cars one lap down in the way, and that is Dustin German riding behind Brian Littleton and Dave Worrells. Now, Dave Worrells goes to the bottom in front of Dustin German. German really nowhere to go, but I got a feeling that these drivers are trying to hang on to these lead lap cars, because if these leaders pit, they could very well unlap themselves, and by the time this thing sorts back out, if the timing works out right, they very well could be running these cars down when they come off of pit road, because I do believe that 80 machine and the 25 both are good to go on fuel and tires. So we'll see how it shakes out. Nonetheless, we've got 9 circuits left here from Talladega. 9 laps to go. Joshua Spalding out front, showing the way with Steve Baker second, Darrell Ricketts third. Coming into this event, Baker had the 207 points, 28 points ahead of Dustin German, 31 points ahead of Eric Blunt. And Brian Snare, of course, Mitchell Snare, that is, he was the big mover a week ago, moved up 4 spots in the points with that win. He's up to 4th. Damon Cox 5th in points. Matthew McMeekin 6th. So there you go, kind of a rundown points-wise as we continue to see this battle out front. Oh, and Joshua Spalding way up high, out of the groove. Will Steve Baker stay in the gas? Yes, he does. Looks like some trouble there on the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like Chris Legou with some trouble. Looks like he's smoking, so maybe he's going to try to get that 71 machine to finish its laps here at Talladega. But in the meantime, the battle for the lead. Steve Baker had an opportunity possibly to work under Joshua Spalding, but he did not take advantage of it. So with 7 circuits to go, will these drivers out front try to extend the fuel? We'll take a look. 15 laps this last time by, about 3 laps away from where they pushed it earlier in the race, and we've still got 7 laps to go. I think you're going to have to see this front group come to pit road eventually. When will it be? That's the big question. And right now, Brian Littleton and David Worrells are hoping that it's going to be soon, because they are right there to unlap themselves if that happens. Just in front of our leaders, you see Brian Mescal Jr. and Matthew McMeekin. They are just ahead of this group. Yeah, there you see the 14 and the 33. They are just ahead of our leaders. Oh, in trouble there. A little loose once again for Gary Ragland. He's on the apron and out of the way in that Kellogg's number 58 machine as our leaders come storming by. Joshua Spalding and Steve Baker now go to the bottom. They work underneath of the lap traffic of Brian Mescal Jr., and now they're on the back bumper of Matthew McMeekin. You have to be wondering when, and there it is. It's time now. Leaders are on pit road. Now, that will make it interesting. As they come to pit road, you're going to start to see these other drivers. As we'll go back to the racetrack, Brian Littleton, he's right there, along with David Worrells and Eric Blunt. These drivers, we will see the timing. Right now, they're working out of turn 2. Our leaders are still on pit road. So we will see. They're just now getting to their pit stalls. We will see if Brian Littleton and this group can get there. I feel like it's going to be close. When this group that's on pit road is coming off pit road, these guys are going to be coming. So that is going to be the race for the lead, but it's going to be a matter of if this other group can get up to speed. That's going to be the big thing. Stephen Page is going to go to pit road, and here comes Brian Littleton. We'll see where the leaders are. They are coming off of turn 2 and up to speed, so we're going to see if Brian Littleton and David Worrells in this group, I feel like they're going to have to get single file. They are going to have to get single file, I feel like, if they want to run down Joshua Spalding and Steve Baker, because as we can see, they are starting to pick it up. They're already up to 200 miles an hour, so they are almost back up to full speed. So we're going to see how things shake out. But right now, it is Chad Meadows showing the way. I was telling you all that to tell you this. He is out front right now showing the way with 4 laps to go. I don't think that 31 machinist came to pit road. We'll see how things shuffle out here over the next little bit. But with 4 laps to go, right there is your leader. Second place, Brian Kaufman. Third place is Josh Spalding and Steve Baker. Chad Meadows, can he stretch it out? Right now, he's got a big lead. No, he's going to bring it in. The 31 machine's coming to pit road. That's going to relinquish the lead to Brian Kaufman. Kaufman now in that number 2 machine. We will see if he will make the left-hand turn to pit road. Oh, and trouble. Trouble down on the apron. Not sure what's happened to David Worrells, but he is on the apron, and trouble for that 25 machine. Not sure what happened, but Darkside Dave has turned it in. That is our leader. And let's take a look back to there they are. The initial group with 3 laps to go. That is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th on your screen, and they are hunting down Brian Kaufman, which I feel like he is going to be a setting duck once they come to him, and Kaufman's going to go ahead and bring it to the apron. Brian Kaufman brings it to the apron as he is seeing the leaders now start to almost come to his back bumper, and at a turn for it, there they are. So it'll be Josh Spalding, Steve Baker, Darrell Ricketts, and Dustin German. Flagman's got the white flag and the checkered flag in the air. We've got 2 laps to go as they cross the line, this time by at Talladega. 2 circuits left. They have been, well, rather friendly, I would say. This group right here, these 4 drivers have been pretty solid, pretty calm most of this race. And with 2 laps to go, I got a feeling if they've got to move, they're going to have to do it soon. As now Steve Baker dials in on the back bumper of that 48, still single file down the back straightaway. Single file all the way down the back straightaway and into turn 3. They work to the bottom of the racetrack as you see all of them. Now, you wonder if Darrell Ricketts and Dustin German, they kind of squeeze back to each other. Are they going to make a run? They're going to have to do something, because this time by, through the tri-oval at Talladega, the white flag flies. One final lap here from the Winston 70. White flag in the air this time by. There is your battle for the lead. Only 2 of the drivers here in the top 4 have went to victory lane. The guy in second, he is the current RFC Throwback Series points leader, Steve Baker. He's got 3 wins. He's on the back bumper of that 48 machine, bumping down the back straightaway. And here comes Dustin German. You knew he wouldn't wait long. He's going to go to the bottom. German to the bottom, push him up to second place. That Haviland machine, I told you, if anybody was going to make a noise, it was going to be him. He's underneath, going to make a little contact with a 48. Dustin German to the bottom, side by side, off of the door panel of Josh Spalding. They come through the tri-oval. Steve Baker's going to go to the outside. They are 3 wide, coming to the finish. Checkered flag in the air. Oh, and almost a photo finish across the line. And they're telling me in the booth that it is Steve Baker. Steve Baker is going to pick up the win. Let's take a look. 3 wide at the line. Here's the photo finish. Oh, and just by, you can't even really tell by that angle. We would have to go back and stop it. But they're telling me that it is Steve Baker that will cross the line and pick up the win. We see there just a little bit of momentum, and the high side, I feel like if he got it, it's just barely there at the high side. Taking a look, Turn 3 Racing Network cameras. We'll see if we can't dial it in just a little bit more. I feel like the momentum at the top part of the track. Here we go, coming to the tri-oval. There's the momentum. I feel like Steve Baker had the momentum right there. We'll see if it carries him through, and yes, it does. Yes, it does. So how about that? 4 times this season, Steve Baker is going to go to victory lane, and he has done so here at Talladega. Steve Baker, a winner once again on the RFC Throwback Series. We are going to take a commercial break, and we'll get a word with him and our top 3. What a finish in the Winston 70. It's the RFC Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports. Welcome back to Talladega, where we just seen maybe one of the most exciting finishes, and once again, Steve Baker goes to victory lane. We are going to chat with our top 3 drivers as we get ready to, walk away from Talladega just kind of like, wow, you've got to be kidding me. What a way to finish 3 wide coming to the line, and we're going to start with our third-place finisher. And a guy that had a really, really good evening, and that is Joshua Spalding. Josh, you got me, man?
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm telling you what, this 48 machine looked good all evening. Just came up literally about a few inches short of picking up your first win of the season. What a race.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a lot of green flag racing there, and those cars are really sideways after a few laps on the tires, and if you got some good drivers around, you can have some incredible battles there, and it was a really fun race tonight.
Well, man, we thought, Steve Baker stayed kind of consistent with you through that long green flag run, but once you had more company there. Daryl Ricketts and Dustin German were there. Somebody was going to make a move. Did you think they would wait that long to try to spread things out?
Yeah, I had a feeling we'd be friends until coming out of 4 on the final lap, which is exactly what happened. So it was a great Talladega race, just what you kind of hope for. It was fun being out front for a lot of it. It was a handful for sure, but I wasn't checking up a lot, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, man, tell us about the folks you got on the side of that number 48 machine.
Jimmy Johnson Foundation on this car, and always supported Jimmy throughout the years. It's fun to run this car for sure. Just hoping to get him in victory lane before the season's over.
Joshua Spalding coming home in the 3rd spot after a great performance here tonight from Talladega. Well, what a finish. 3rd place there, Josh Spalding. We go to 2nd place now, and the 2nd place finisher was Dustin German. Dustin, man, I tell you what, I made a prediction with about 10 laps to go. If anybody was going to shake up the front 4, I felt like you might make the first move. You did that, almost timed this thing perfectly coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, man, I felt like I had it won there. I actually didn't know until I got to the back straightaway. It was so close. Just want to say thank my team there, Smoke Show Racing. A lot of us guys, I think we was top 4. We worked together the whole race, and it played out, but we all made the call, one to go. Every man for himself. We kind of stuck it out to the back straightaway. I had to do something, man. I couldn't ride around.
Well, we was patiently waiting to see who would make the move. I was surprised they gave you the bottom. You was able to get the bottom and kind of the momentum. Baker took the high side. But, man, you got a win earlier this year at Darlington. You came in here only 28 points behind Baker, which in this point system with still a good list of races to go, you got to feel pretty positive over the next few weeks as we go to Charlotte. Racing neck and neck like this, not really he's not allowed to get anything really on you anymore in points. You got to feel pretty confident leaving here as far as the point system will go.
Yeah, I'm just got to put a little bit more positions between us to get up on him. I'm kind of keeping it at bay, but we got to make a move somehow. He keeps pulling them off, but good race tonight, long green flag runs, and I can't ask for anything better than that finish.
Well, man, we want to give you an opportunity to thank the folks you got on the side of that beautiful number 28 machine.
Yeah, I just want to thank SRTV Network, American Stroke Association. Thank you guys, Turn 3 Network, and these guys for putting it on RFC, all the people that come out tonight, and I want to congratulate Steve on his win. That was fun, man.
Dustin German, runner-up here at Talladega out of the state of North Carolina. We want to thank him for chatting with us. Well, the guy that, found a way. That's the word that I used earlier. This guy has just found a way all year, from dominating performances to just simply being in the right place at the right time. And tonight, things just kind of shaked out. Our race winner, Steve Baker. Steve, man, congratulations. And that one, I don't know if you had that one listed that way, but you'll take it, right?
Yeah, I'll absolutely take those. That was a hell of a finish, I think. It was fun racing My teammates there for the win. Josh, Dustin, Daryl, Chad, and it's good that we could get out to a little bit of a lead and just sort of battle it out for ourselves.
Well, I made the comment during the broadcast that, Dustin German, I think, was the first one to pull out a line and try to make a move there off of turn 4 coming to the tri-oval. Was you surprised that it kind of took that long to develop?
No, I figured it was going to be sort of, if not through 4 or 3 and 4, on the maybe wait until, coming to the beginning of the tri-oval, just because how far the start-finish line is on Dega. But when he had a heck of a run coming, so I knew I had to sort of duck back down and try and get as much of a draft as I could. And once I saw Josh go down to sort of pick up the draft from Dustin, and really the only place left to go was outside. So glad it worked out.
Well, man, we've seen you go to victory lane this year now for the 4th time. You won at Daytona, one of the other big tracks. You've won at Atlanta, North Wilkesboro, and now Talladega. You take a look next week, another different style of track, really, the rest of the year until we get back to Daytona. 3 different tracks, Charlotte, Dover, Pocono. Kind of tell us about that 3-race stretch.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of Dover and Pocono. Charlotte, not so much, so we'll see what we can do there. But I've been having a blast in these cars, man. They're such a handful and so fun to drive. Hope the good luck stretch, or whatever you want to call it, continues, because it's been a lot of fun. But again, like I said earlier, it's at a place like Talladega, it's also hats off to the teammates to sort of work together to make it happen at the end. So without those guys, I don't think none of us would have been up there.
Well, man, as we always like to do, we like you to tell us about the folks on the side of that race car.
Yeah, Smoke Show Racing, SRTV Network, and Autism Speaks, bringing awareness to that cause. So that's who we've got on the car for this year, and hopefully we can keep getting some airtime for them.
Well, man, 4 wins in the first 6 races. That is pretty impressive. Leaving Talladega 3 wide, almost a photo finish. Our points leader, Steve Baker, congratulations, man, on another win.
Thank you, Cody, and thanks for the broadcast, man. They're always a good job.
Awesome stuff. I'll tell you what an exciting finish. What an exciting way to wrap up our time here at Talladega. What a way to end it. 3 wide, coming to the line. I know we'll get some pretty good photos of that, probably from our great folks, the Turn 3 Racing Network folks will be able to pinch that down and get you a good photo of that. But congratulations to, we had a dominating performance from him earlier this year. You go back and you take a look at what he did at North Wilkesboro. Bristol didn't go the way he wanted it to go, even though I still say he might have had the best race car at Bristol. But as far as things shaking out, I would happen to say that tonight was not exactly how he had things going, but for the most part, it looks like he found a way to go to victory lane. And that leaves us with one final thing, and that is wrapping it up here from the Talladega Superspeedway, and we do that with our race results. Of course, tonight's finish, and of course, we want to always thank the folks at Ohio and Indiana Roofing. We also want to thank the good folks at Blackhawk Motorsports for allowing us to take you through this full evening of racing here from Talladega Superspeedway. The final results look like this. Steve Baker takes home the win, his 4th win of the 2020 season. Dustin German 2nd. 3rd place, Joshua Spalding. 4th place, Daryl Ricketts. 5th place, Mitchell Snare. Stephen Page rounds out 6th. 7th went to Chad Meadows. Justin Walters 8th. 9th place, Brian Littleton. 10th place goes to Eric Blunt. 11th place, Brian Meskel Jr. Damon Cox rounds out the top 12. It was Brian Kaufman in 13th, Doug Wasaki 14th, Matthew McMeekin 15th. David Worrells, after a tough break late in the race, finished 16th. Chris Legou 17th, Dustin Pink 18th, Gary Ragland 19th, and it was Michael Willis rounding out the top 20. Michael Masongale 21st, and Zach Coyer, trouble not able to get that race car out onto the circuit to make some laps this evening. He will finish out in 22nd. Well, it was my honor to bring you the coverage tonight here from Talladega. We get ready next week. We go to Charlotte. I hope you'll join us then as we get ready for more throwback racing. It's the Coca-Cola 100. It'll be live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.